Are you feeling stressed out or even burnt out in your current job or the work that you do? If that's the case, you're definitely not alone. According to studies that was done by Deloitte, they actually show that about 77% of people have experienced some form of burnout in their current job. And that number is higher for millennials. It is 84% for millennials, which just shows that a vast majority of them, they're actually exiting a current job mostly for the same reason. Also, did you know that burnout has been linked to poor health? There was a report by WHO, the World Health Organization, that shows the link between burnout and poor health. And again, individuals who face burnout, experience burnout, often they're at a very high risk of facing and developing health issues, which is why this topic of stress and burnout has to be addressed, and it also has to be taken seriously so that we can live more fulfilled and also live more happier life, or have happier lives in general. It's Franklin here, and in this video I will be sharing some of the things that I have learned and I'm applying to reduce the rates of burnout for me. And obviously I know what it feels like to be stressed out or to even experience burnout, and definitely, like you also know, it is not fun. So I am very, very serious and committed to managing the level of stress in my life so I don't get burnt out and, worst case, develop some form of health issues as a result of that. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 5 different practices that I believe would help you and I to navigate stress so we do not experience burnout. Before I go ahead to share the 5 tips, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe so that way you'll be notified each time I post a new video. I usually create videos in the areas of personal and professional success and development, along with faith as well. So go ahead, click the subscribe button if you haven't done so, and also like and comment to this video as well. So going back to burnout, what exactly is burnout? So according to the World Health Organization, burnout actually is a syndrome. According to them, it is a syndrome that usually is as a result of an individual going through unmanageable level of stress, especially in their workplace. And there are usually 3 symptoms or signs that shows that an individual is experiencing a burnout. Number 1 is that they are beginning to feel mentally distant from the work that they are doing, more or less saying that they are not experiencing fulfillment or a sense of purpose from the work that they are doing. The second is energy depletion. So instead of the work you're doing giving you energy, it is sapping your energy and it is draining your energy. And the third is that you are beginning to feel less effective in the work that you are doing. So if you're currently facing those symptoms or those experiencing those signs, then it could just mean that you're at a very high risk of facing burnout. But don't worry, I'm about to share with you 5 different tips, that I believe would definitely help with dealing with stress so that it doesn't lead to burnout. These are also tips that I have been practicing and they've helped me significantly as well. And I hope that they help you too. Number 1 is to find fulfillment and meaning in the work that you do. I believe it was Steve Jobs who once said that if you're going to do great work, you have to love what you do. And if you haven't found it, keep looking, don't settle. That is really sage advice, and I can say that for sure. I don't know if you've ever imagined when you find yourself doing work that you don't even care about and you don't even find fulfillment or any form of purpose in. Whenever you feel stressed out in it, man, you just want to quit and run away. You're less likely going to endure it further and further compared to if you had some form of fulfillment and purpose that you derive from the work that you do. I understand that for some time, at different stages, we may find ourselves doing some form of work that maybe we don't really enjoy doing. But so long as we don't just settle, just like Steve Jobs mentioned, I think it's going to be for our benefit that we, as much as possible, look for work that we find fulfillment in. So that way, we're going to be able to go through even the hard and the tough times, because again, life gets tough and challenging. That's number one. Number two is to set boundaries. Yes, this one is very, very important. A number of times when people work, they take work to their home, and maybe they also take a home to their work, which definitely is just not very pleasant, especially to the brain and to the mind. So it really helps that when you are working, that you set proper boundaries. Boundaries in the sense of, okay, identifying what is going to be the start time for your work, and also ideally the end time for your work. I understand that there are going to be a number of times when you would go beyond the time that you have allotted to work, but as long as that is not going to become a habit, I believe that that is okay and fine. When it comes to putting boundaries, this is very, very applicable and important, especially for those who work remotely. When you work remotely, there's always going to be a tendency and temptation for you to want to put in much more hours because you're not commuting and you're working in your house. So there's no demarcation between workspace and the home space. So that way you may find yourself tempted to put your personal to have your personal life and your professional life just mashed up. So that's why it's definitely very beneficial when you're working remotely to identify a workspace that is going to be different and outside of your personal space. For example, you don't want to be setting up your work desk inside of your bedroom. That is very, very tempting and definitely not going to be a good way for you to set the proper boundaries. So in terms of setting the boundaries, definitely it helps to carve out a time and a space such that you can demarcate your personal life from your professional life as well. And also very, very quick hints. If you want to make the transition smooth between work time and personal time, perhaps you want to set an alarm or you want to do an activity that signals that, okay, it's time to stop working for the day and go transition to do personal stuff, especially if you are working remotely as well. And again, as much as possible, try to limit the amount of time that you take work home so that you can, again, set proper boundaries. So that's number two. Number three is to take regular breaks and also vacation. Studies have shown that on the average, we can function at our best for a time slot of about 2 hours. Some people can go beyond 4 hours as well. But that's a time window when we are able to properly and optimally function, which means that every 2-3 hours, it's really very ideal that we take a break, go take a walk, stretch, and just take your mind away from the work that you are doing so you can quickly have some refresh. And then come back to the work that you're doing so that you can hopefully see things in a different view. And this is something that I try to do as much as possible, taking regular breaks in between work. It just helps me a lot to stay sane. And I believe in addition to taking regular breaks, it also helps a lot to take vacations. Don't neglect the power of vacations. In fact, there have also been reports and studies that show that those who take vacations and who plug out, with those who plug out by taking vacation, they tend to be happier, more productive, and they also are at a lesser risk of facing burnout. And man, this is definitely very, very important. I know that the summertime is coming, so I hope that you're already thinking about how many days you're going to be taking vacation and where you're going to be going to do your vacation. I can assure you this is definitely going to be very, very beneficial for your mental health as well. And apart from that, It's also very important that when you are on vacation, when you're plugging out, don't check your work email as much as possible. Again, plug out and plug out for real. And when you come back again to work, you'll be very, very amazed at how rejuvenated and refreshed and how productive you're going to be when you resume work as well. So plug out and plug out for real. So that's number 3. The next point is to exercise. A number of times people say that they are too busy to exercise, but I've also heard people who understand the power of exercise and they say that they are too busy not to exercise. This is definitely very, very important. Honestly, this is one of the activities that I do on a regular basis, and man, it helps me a lot to stay away from being burnt out. The very important thing is when we exercise, the body releases the chemical, the hormone called endorphin. And endorphin is the quote unquote, the feel good hormone. That's the one that makes us feel alive. That's the one that makes us feel excited and happy. And again, it makes us feel good. And in fact, they say endorphin is actually stronger than morphine. So in other words, you don't have to go take some drugs to feel high. All you just have to do is to go exercise. Go take a jog, go to the gym and do some workout, go do cardio, just whatever it is that you really need to do to come alive and to feel high. Apart from taking, don't do that. Go do exercise, and you're gonna feel the same high effect because of the overflow of the endorphins as well. So definitely doing this is very, very important, and to help you distress as well. It's one of my powerful top distress technique. The 5th is to engage in prayer and meditation. Wow, this one is very, very important as well. Because when we do prayer and when we do meditation, we slow down. Because most of the time, everybody is go, 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 hurry, hurry, hurry. And we cannot function optimally when we are always in a rush, when we are always living our life as though it were an emergency. So don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff, like the book says. So prayer and meditation, this is also one of my go-to technique that I apply to not just the stress, but it's also become a way of life for me as well. That's the 5th one. And you know what? I like being generous. And again, I'm just feeling really very, very generous. I'm going to share one last tip, which is to laugh. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Hey, don't take life too seriously, right? And as much as possible, always find time to laugh. Laugh with your loved ones, laugh with your friends, and even laugh with yourself as well. When we laugh, the body also secretes dopamine. I believe it is dopamine. Yeah, the dopamine, the end of the chemical or the hormone that makes us feel good. And that also helps to reduce the cortisol level in our body. Cortisol is a stress hormone. So the more you laugh, the lower your cortisol in the body goes. So make it a point of duty to laugh as often as you can and watch your stress level go down. And hopefully it will never ever get to the stage of you feeling burnt out. So those are techniques that, again, I also personally hold on to and I'm committed to, just so I don't hit the burnout phase, which is definitely not fun. I'll definitely love to hear from you. What are some of the techniques that you practice to help you stay away from being burnt out and also escaping the stressed out zone as well? I believe so strongly that in carrying out these techniques, we're definitely going to live more happier and healthier, and we're going to love the work that we do. And for that reason, like Steve Jobs says, we'll be able to do great work as well. It's been Franklin here. Thanks a lot for watching. And as usual, don't forget that you're more than enough. You're worthy. You're deserving. You are loved. So let us go out there and live a stress-free life, and a life that is also just not going to lead to burnout, so we can be more fulfilled and happy with our life. Franklin here. Thanks for watching. God bless and peace.